A major legal showdown is unfolding in California, where a coalition representing nearly 20,000 immigrant truck drivers has filed a lawsuit against the state's Department of Motor Vehicles. The drivers argue that California is unfairly revoking their commercial driver's licenses, effectively putting them out of work. This lawsuit comes at a time when the Trump administration is dramatically escalating its crackdown on illegal immigrants operating heavy commercial vehicles, citing serious safety risks to the American public. The renewed enforcement effort was triggered by a series of deadly trucking accidents, including a horrifying incident in California earlier this year. In that case, an illegal immigrant truck driver made an unlawful U-turn on a busy highway, killing 3 innocent people instantly. The video of the crash shocked the nation and sparked renewed calls for accountability. Following that tragedy, the Department of Homeland Security launched a nationwide operation, arresting more than 100 illegal migrant truck drivers across multiple states. Federal officials say this is only the beginning. The Trump administration insists these actions are not political, but rather a necessary step to protect American lives. Officials argue that allowing unqualified drivers to operate 80,000-pound big rigs puts everyone on the road in danger. However, the lawsuit claims the enforcement measures will create economic chaos. The plaintiffs argue that revoking thousands of licenses at once threatens not only their livelihoods, but also the stability of the U.S. supply chain, transportation services, and industries that rely heavily on trucking. According to the lawsuit, communities could face disruptions in food delivery, retail distribution, and essential services if these drivers are removed from the workforce. Transportation Secretary Sean Duthie forcefully defended the license cancellations during an appearance on national television this week. "These rules exist for one reason: safety," Duthie said. "If you cannot speak English, if you have not completed proper training, you should not be behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle." Duthie criticized previous administrations, arguing that lax immigration enforcement allowed millions of people to enter the country, while liberal state governments then issued commercial driver's licenses without proper vetting. Federal officials say California revoked many of these licenses only after direct pressure from the Department of Transportation to enforce rules that have existed for decades, including the requirement that CDL holders be able to read, speak, and understand English. Safety experts emphasize that commercial truck drivers must read road signs, communicate clearly over radios, understand weight restrictions, inspect vehicles properly, and maintain up-to-date insurance and registration, all of which require English proficiency. Supporters of the crackdown argue this is basic common sense, not discrimination. Critics of the lawsuit say the federal government's responsibility is clear: keep citizens safe. While the U.S. legal system allows anyone to file a lawsuit, many experts believe this case is unlikely to succeed. Adding to the concern, Transportation Secretary Duthie revealed that nearly 190,000 commercial drivers nationwide currently do not meet federal CDL standards. Because CDL holders routinely travel across state lines, officials warn that unsafe drivers in one state can endanger families across the entire country. The controversy is unfolding during the busy holiday travel season, when roads are already packed with travelers. Administration officials argue that road safety should never be a partisan issue. The federal government is now warning states like California and Colorado that continued non-compliance could result in withheld federal transportation funding. Industry experts say the problem runs deeper, pointing to so-called CDL mills, training centers that issue licenses without meeting federal standards. According to federal data, nearly 44% of CDL schools fail to fully comply with regulations. Officials say enforcement efforts are now expanding, with spot inspections and tighter oversight aimed at shutting down fraudulent operations. At its core, this debate highlights a fundamental question: who has the greater right, unqualified drivers demanding due process, or American families demanding safe roads? For now, the legal battle continues, but the Trump administration has made one thing clear: road safety comes first.